I would have never thought in 100 years that I would have to make a video like this about the issue I'm about to discuss. Special shout out to Steven, who reached me on LinkedIn. If you don't know what LinkedIn is, you must have it. LinkedIn is a social networking site, kind of like your Facebook, but for professionals. You can reach me, or you could connect with me through my Instagram account, The Firearms Trainer, or through LinkedIn. Just type in my name, Sean Sundal. Connect with me on there if you like. So Steven sent me a direct message, and he sent me a link to this video where we learned that an armed security officer who worked at a retail establishment, I think it was maybe a pharmacy, like kind of like a CVS or Walgreens, he shot a shoplifter. That person died, and now he's booked for murder. I don't know what's going on in this industry, but some of this activity needs to stop. I keep hearing in the headlines, it just seems like every week, armed guard, shoots shoplifter, booked for murder. When does it stop? And what is going on? Is this a training issue? Is this a common sense issue? I don't know. You guys tell me. It seems like common sense not to shoot an unarmed shoplifter, yet we continue to do so. We continue to shoot unarmed people. And then the media reported that in California, armed security go through rigorous training in order to be an armed guard. You guys think that's true? Those of you who have an armed exposed permit, do you believe that you went through rigorous training? Okay, it's a 2-day course. So day one, you're in the classroom, going over weapon manipulations, going over legal aspects. And then day two, you are on the range. You fire 50 practice rounds, and then after that, you fire 50 for the test. You don't move. It's a static line. Not shooting from cover. You're just shooting from the farthest distance is 15 yards, and then you start moving up from there. You guys think that course is difficult? Now, I could tell you about the course because I've taught that course for many years. In 2010, I became a certified BSIS firearms instructor. And although I'm not attached to a licensed facility right now, my license is current. It's active, ladies and gentlemen. But I'll tell you this, that it's not a rigorous training. Matter of fact, you guys know this, there's some places that you can go to, you just pay the instructor, and that person qualifies that you're there for 2 days. Signs off on you, and that's it. Unbelievable. That happens, guys. That level of fraud exists in our area, especially in California. I'm actually starting to think that we should just go to having state instructors where they actually work for the state. Because private enterprise we can't keep ourselves in check enough. So that's what it might amount to. And if this ridiculousness continues in California, I might be the one to vouch for that. There's probably about 10 licensed firearm instructors, licensed BSIS firearm instructors. By the way, BSI stands for the Bureau of Security Investigative Services. They're a regulatory arm for security professionals in California. There's probably about 10 that watch my videos on a routine basis. And they're usually silent. Hopefully they're not silent after this video, because I might just be pushing for something like this. Maybe the next committee meeting, we should bring this up, because this is just out of control. Let's talk about when you should draw your firearm. And I know many of you are saying this is common sense. Look it, we have security officers in jail. Please forward this video to your staff if you are in a leadership position, manager position. You can also forward this to your coworkers. This is a review. You should only draw your firearm when your life or someone else's life is in imminent danger of receiving great bodily injury or death. Those should be the only circumstances. Just because somebody steals from a store, that doesn't mean you draw your firearm. You just escalate the situation. And then now you have a gun in your hand. Tempers are going to flare. How do you think that situation is going to be resolved if your mind is not all there? Because when tempers flare, when people start cursing you out, they start making these aggressive hand gestures, okay, you stop thinking, and your animal instinct, your survival instinct kicks in. And when that kicks in, there's not a lot of logic. So keep that gun in the holster unless your life is in danger, someone else's life is in danger, there's an imminent threat. That means that threat is about to be immediate. And there's a possibility, a good likelihood, that you're going to suffer great bodily injury or death. Okay, these are not the exact words that we are going to use for a policy, but this is the gist of it, guys. This is when you should draw your firearm. Not with a shoplifter. It needs to stop. If the shoplifter pulls a weapon on you, a knife, a gun, well, that's not a shoplifter anymore. That's an armed robber. That's an armed robbery. I'm just frustrated on the level of intelligence that these armed security officers have. And then the media with calling California armed security training rigorous. And then there's a use of force expert. I am not going to criticize him much. This expert has a lot more training experience than I do. This expert is routinely called into court to testify on a major city's behalf for use of force issues. But this is kind of messed up. We don't even know what happened with this armed security officer. There's no footage. There's not more facts. All we know is that he was booked for murder. In order to arrest somebody, you need probable cause to believe that a crime occurred. And that person that you're arresting is the person who committed the crime. That's all you need for an arrest. So there was some type of evidentiary threshold that was made in order for that arrest to be made. But we don't have all the facts. And this expert said on TV that the incident was not justified. How do you know it's not justified if you didn't even see the footage, you didn't investigate the incident? I mean, that's throwing the security industry under the bus. And the media put on his title, security trainer. So I looked him up, and this gentleman, I'm not going to mention who he is, but he is I want to say, kind of like a world-renowned expert in use of force. I mean, he's the go-to guy that law enforcement calls upon when they need to be backed up on a use of force issue. He's articulate, he's educated, he's the guy that you want on your side. But to say that the shooting wasn't justified, that wasn't right. So he's shown on camera as a security trainer. I look him up in the BSIS website. That's our state website if you want to check the status of a firearms instructor. And he doesn't even have a license. Nada. Nothing. No license at all. Guys and gals, the media will also crucify you. They'll lie. They will absolutely lie. All right, that's all I got. Just stop drawing your gun for every single situation. This is out of control. All right, guys. Looking forward to the dialogue. Take care and please be safe out there.